What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So we are now starting to see exactly where moderates stand on the $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill. We now know where Senator Joe Manchin is, where Kyrsten Sinema is. And when a reporter asked Kyrsten Sinema today, where is she? She says, I'm right here, standing in front of the elevator. Well, that wasn't the answer the reporter was looking for, but that's what she gave. She does not have really an idea, or she doesn't want to express where she is at. But according to reports, Senator Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin are at the same place. They're at $1.5 trillion on the infrastructure bill. This is that budget reconciliation bill that Democrats have all the power in the world to pass whatever they want, and they can't even get that done. That's a big issue. But in today's video, I actually want to address one thing. Okay, actually, I'm going to address multiple things. The first thing I want to address, because I know a lot of you have been asking, is that fourth stimulus check. How likely is it? When are we going to receive it? And how much will it be? Here's what I can tell you. As to how much it's going to be, I don't know. As to who would receive it, again, I don't know. But as to how likely is it that we get a fourth stimulus check in the normal sense of a stimulus check, I can tell you right now, it is very small. The chances of this happening keep on dwindling down. They get smaller and smaller. According to multiple reports, Senator Joe Manchin does not want to see a $3.5 trillion bill. He will go as high as $1.5 trillion. Here's the reason why this is a problem. He also said that he doesn't want to see any additional stimulus, okay? And according to reports, he wants to see the child tax credit payments get reduced from 4 years, possibly down to just 2, in order to make this bill cheaper. According to many people, Senator Joe Manchin is very tough to deal with at this time because he actually holds more power right now than President Biden. He has more power than Senator Schumer, who's the Senate Majority Leader. Joe Manchin has more power than Speaker Pelosi. According to reports, Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema have created this tight-knit group of just 2 people, and they're controlling whatever is going to pass through the House and the Senate. That's creating a problem. Well, here's what I can tell you. Today, there was an agreement that was signed back on July 28th. I addressed this earlier on in today's video. Now, I think this is the second video I did today, but in that video, I simply talked about how Senator Joe Manchin and Senator Chuck Schumer, they got together on July 28th, signed an agreement. Okay? This is pretty much just an agreement of what Senator Joe Manchin would support. Well, that came out today from Politico. And in that agreement that was signed by Senator Schumer and Senator Manchin, there was one line that said, Senator Manchin would not support any budget resolution that contains additional handouts or transfer payments, also known as stimulus checks. So he will not support stimulus checks. He will not support transfer payments. According to many, he would support 2 years of a child tax credit payment. So, what this means, if we're going to see additional stimulus, it has to come in another way. And I've been saying this for the past few months. We're not going to see those typical stimulus checks, at least according to many experts. That wouldn't happen because too many people oppose that. Senator Joe Manchin is one of those people. In this agreement that was signed, he also said that, and again, this is something that he's brought up multiple times before, that he's strongly for needs-based spending and means testing. So, and just to give you an idea, what this means is if it comes down to, okay, these families need additional assistance for rent. Well, how much assistance do they need? Is this really needs-based? Do they need it or they want it? And then, means testing. So this is simply going to mean there's no self-attestation. We're not going to see that anymore. That was something that we were still seeing as far as rental assistance. People can attest that, yes, I really need it. I was on unemployment 4 months ago. I need rent assistance now. That's kind of what we're seeing. And so that's where some experts are saying, or even Senate aides are telling us that senators are actually for means testing, needs-based spending. They're for that. They support this idea. But we'll see what happens as we move forward. And so that's where we're at regarding that fourth stimulus check. Is as of right now, a stimulus check that's going to go to 160 plus million Americans, that's not going to happen. Could we see it go to 25 to 50 million people? Yes, we could, but chances are lawmakers will call it something different, not a stimulus check. So anytime I get any more information on that, I promise I will fill you in on that update as soon as possible. But let's get into the $1.5 trillion infrastructure bill. Yeah, I said the $1.5 trillion bill. I'm not talking about that $1.2 trillion bipartisan bill. I'm talking about the $3.5 trillion stimulus package that now people are calling it a $1.5 trillion bill. You heard that right. I didn't misspeak. That is exactly what people are calling it. Even Senator Joe Manchin, he stated that $1.5 trillion is as far as he's willing to go. And he said, and I quote, "I've never been a liberal in any way, shape, or form. I'm willing to come from 0 to 1.5 trillion. We even heard from Senator Mazie Hirono from Hawaii, and she said, and I quote, "He's confirmed that's as far as he'll go," which is pretty sad if you ask me. But here's something I want you to understand. Too many Democrats are arguing that $1.5 trillion will not do what the American people need. Some counter and say that $2.5 trillion is closer, but it still falls short. Even Senator Bernie Sanders has said anything under $3 trillion will not get his vote. This is the problem. We got two senators. One, Senator Bernie Sanders, who's pretty much the one that crafted and put together this framework. He wants 3.5 trillion, but he will come down from 3.5 trillion down to 3. We got Senator Joe Manchin, who was at 0, and he says he'll come all the way up to 1.5 trillion. Well, we still got about $1.5 trillion of a gap. That's going to be almost impossible to fix. If you remember, last year, we knew that the Trump administration and Speaker Pelosi were about $200 billion apart, and they couldn't come together on an agreement. It's going to be almost impossible to come together on a $1.5 trillion gap. It's going to be almost impossible. Now, here's something I want to address as well. Progressives are pushing harder and harder to get this $1.2 trillion bipartisan bill blocked. And it's for one main reason. They have proof, okay? So, what you need to understand is that if progressives pass this bill, the $1.2 trillion bill, this could pretty much mean the end of talks on the $3.5 trillion stimulus package, or whatever, if you want to call it the $1.5 trillion bill. Either one, doesn't matter. Because both are very unlikely if the $1.2 trillion bill passes first. Here's what you need to understand. This will be the end of talks on free community college. There will be no expansion to Medicare. That means we will not go from 65 down to 60. There will not be vision, dental, or hearing. It's not going to happen this year, not going to happen next year, and we're not going to see dental in 2028. We will not see $1,000 debit cards go to seniors to help pay for these things. That won't happen. We won't see the child tax credits extended for additional 4 years. That would be very unlikely. Possibly 2, maybe 3, but not 4. Childcare is still going to remain expensive. Affordable housing talks will slow. So if you are struggling to rent your house now, experts are telling us that rents are going up. Rents are going to increase, I think, by like 10% this year. So if you are currently renting, well, you could be paying more in a year. And the big one, climate change is going to take a hit. That's what we're hearing. And progressives are saying that they know exactly what's going to happen if they accept the $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill. They know exactly where discussions are going to go. And this is why they opted to not support this. And Senator Bernie Sanders is wanting to reject the bill entirely. If you remember, progressives decided to support President Biden's American Rescue Plan. This was that $1.9 trillion package that included a $1,400 stimulus check. Well, they supported this because, according to multiple progressives, they were told if we pass this bill, we will come back to the table and we will renegotiate the $15 minimum wage provision. We will get this done. Well, lawmakers backed this. The bill was passed. This was passed back in, March? 5 months, 6 months ago, whenever that was? And there still hasn't been a bill passed on the $15 minimum wage. The minimum wage continues to be $7.25 per hour on a federal level, not $15, or it would have actually jumped up to, I think, $9 this year or immediately. That hasn't happened. But the worst part about this, not even that it hasn't passed, it's that there has not even been discussions on this. Not even discussions. The talks have completely gone away. So when you ask the Progressive Party, why do you not back this? It's because they are saying, yes, physical infrastructure is important. However, so is free community college. So is affordable childcare, the expansion of Medicare, the extension of the child tax credit payments, affordable housing, right? All those things are important. But it doesn't mean we're not going to get it done. It just means right now, progressives are going to hold firm. As of right now, and I can go and look one more time. Okay, as of right now, let me look really quick. As of shooting this video, there is still not a vote on the infrastructure bill, on the $1.2 trillion bill. Still nothing, okay? So what I can tell you is we are still gonna be waiting. This could happen later on tonight. They could still go through negotiations, but according to all reports, Nancy Pelosi is going to be a fool to bring this to the floor because it's not going to pass. But we will see. Now, regarding government funding and the government funding bill, the Senate passed this earlier. The House followed this up very quickly and passed that. President Biden is expected to sign this tonight. The good news is that the government will be funded for another 2 months. The bad news is that passing this bill, according to multiple reports, now leaves Democrats with less bargaining chips to try to get a deal done on the infrastructure bills. Okay? So by passing the government funding bill, this leaves them with less bargaining chips. I don't think having, hundreds of thousands of federal employees as a bargaining chip is a really good idea, and putting their well-being and their financial stability on the line. I don't think that's a bargaining chip, but according to reports, it was. Now, I want to clarify one thing, because a lot of you have been asking what is in this bill. First, it keeps the government funded until December 3rd. That's good. It also provides $28.6 billion for emergency disaster relief. It provides $6.3 billion for Afghan refugee relocation. And this is where I get a lot of comments, okay? And I want to clarify this because I think I've been forgetting to mention where this money is going. I've received many comments and they keep saying, why do we send money to other countries? Why do Afghan refugees get money for relocation? Here's the reason why. This money is not going to Afghanistan. This money is actually going to be spent here in the United States. This money is spent on the people and their families that actually helped our military. When we were over there, when we were fighting the war in Afghanistan, these were the families. These are the people that were giving us intel. These are the people that were helping out our military, okay? So we are actually paying for them to be relocated here into the United States. So I know a lot of people were extremely upset that we're giving money to Afghanistan, when essentially that's not the case. We're just using that money to provide housing, relocation fees, and that sort, right? So just understand, yes, the $6.3 billion, even though this was something that probably should have been taken care of before, this is needed for new money, new funding to bring these families over now. So that's kind of what we're hearing, and this did have bipartisan support. So that's what we know right now regarding the stimulus package, what Senator Joe Manchin wants, what progressives are fighting for and their demands. But the problem is we have to see what goes on with that $1.2 trillion bill. I don't know if it's going to pass. I highly doubt it will pass, but we will see. So I may do a video later on tonight. If it passes, chances are I'll just come on tomorrow morning, fill you in on more of a morning update there. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please Ask your questions down in the comment section below. Again, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.